YouTube is about to undergo a major update to its algorithm and is going to take down monetization for the vast majority of dark channels, also known as faceless channels or channels where you don't appear on camera. But what now? If you have a channel like this, is it still worth continuing? Or is there something you can do to get ready? Let me tell you right now, there is. Stick around for the video. Or maybe you want to start one, you're thinking about building a channel. Is it still worth it? Let's break all of this down in today's video. But first, leave a comment below. Do you already have a monetized YouTube channel? And is your channel a dark channel? Do you not show up on camera? Or do you use an AI presenter and it's actually not you presenting? Comment below, I want to know. Obviously, if you're still chasing those 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, let me know in the comments too. Today, I brought in a specialist in the field who has already made over $3 million, and he's going to talk about these changes. And as you know, I have 12 channels, 10 of them monetized, and some are dark channels. I'll also share my own input here on what you should do from now on, all right? That's it. Let's get started. 3, 2, 1, go.
I've already made over $3 million with YouTube channels without showing my face. And this new YouTube policy change is going to put an end to the faceless channel business model, or is it? This isn't the first time YouTube has implemented a similar policy. I've been doing YouTube without showing my face since 2016. In fact, I'm pretty sure I was one of the first 20 people to make this type of channel on YouTube. And let me give you, real quick, a little history lesson and explain in more depth what this YouTube policy really means for the future of automation on YouTube. If you're new here, I'm Caleb Box. I've been featured in Forbes Men's Journal for my innovation in the YouTube automation business model, and I've been mentored by people like Mr. Beast, who now has over 400 million subscribers. So subscribe for weekly videos teaching you how to make money with YouTube channels without showing your face.
Don't worry, I'll leave the channel for you to subscribe to at the end. Almost forgot to mention that, okay? It's really worth it. Let's keep going.
All right. So for all of this to make sense and for us to better understand what this policy change really means for the future of faceless channels on YouTube, I need to give you a bit of a history lesson from back in 2016 when I started. Here's the thing. Top 5 Best was one of my mentors in the beginning. And I think there's no better way to start than with this example to help us understand what things were like back in 2016.
Look, this video is 8 years old, right? It's been 8 years since this video was posted.
Just to give you the full context. So in 2016, you didn't need 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 watch hours to be monetized. That wasn't a requirement. You could literally create a YouTube channel, and on the same day, it would already be monetized. Those were the good old days of YouTube. And back then, there were also fewer requirements for your videos to be monetized or fully monetized. In fact, pretty much every channel was monetized. What happened was that we could literally create any kind of video. We could make compilation videos of water bottle flips, which is what made us a lot of money in the beginning. You can watch this video if I just hit play.
This is the moment when you get frustrated, right? I'd love to see your face right now saying, my God, why didn't I start in 2016? On the very first day, I could already be making money. And there weren't as many rules as there are today, which is much stricter. There's a lot more competition, but don't worry. There are also way more tools for you to get started. Back then, it was easier to get started, but there were only a few tools, few resources, and few ways to monetize, because today there are at least 8 to 10 YouTube tools for you to make money. We'll talk about that in a bit. Let's keep going here.
It was just a bunch of water bottle tosses, and we would simply go on Instagram, search everywhere, grab these little clips, and compile them all together, putting these videos side by side, like that. And that was basically what we did, and it worked. We could monetize, we were able to make a lot of money. You can see that this video got 18 million views back in 2016, so that made us a good amount of money. But then, suddenly there was an update. YouTube released an update, and for the first time, they required you to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to be able to monetize. And as part of that update, they started requiring slightly better content and no longer allowed compilation content like this, where there's no commentary and it's literally just people flipping water bottles using other people's clips. You can't do that anymore on YouTube today, especially back then. That's when the change happened. Suddenly, the business model was completely turned upside down, because we used to make low-quality videos that earned us a lot of money easily. And for us, it was like, so now what are we going to do? How are we going to reinvent ourselves? Well, fortunately, I was already planning ahead on how to make better content. I never felt good about making that kind of content. It's true that I probably should have done more of that because it really was making money at the time it was bringing in money. But for me, I thought, you know what? I'm going to try making videos that I thought were cool, a bit more authentic and a bit more original. So I started making commentary videos, and those commentary videos were kind of like this. This is from my faceless YouTube channels, and I want to show you what the videos are really like, so you can better understand the situation. For example, let's say we click on this particular video to get revenge, but. So let's carefully listen to the insightful commentary. Block rappers in their entirety will never be truly complete without the significant presence of King Von.
Just saying, right? Doing the analysis, you notice that he's not showing his face and it's an artificial intelligence voice, right? So Euthese is one of the models you can create today. You have more complex editing, but you can use an artificial intelligence voice already giving some guidance about this new change. If you already use AI-generated images, AI-generated videos, or stock images and stock videos, if you already generate your script with artificial intelligence, if you already do your editing with software that uses AI features, try to use your own voice. Because one way for YouTube to identify your content as something that adds more value is by having a human voice. That will definitely help your content get approved for the monetization program. And it can happen that YouTube lets your video run, approves it, and even puts YouTube's own ads on it. Because you might have a channel that's not monetized and ads still show up. That's another change YouTube made not too long ago. So add a human element to your video, which in this case can be a human voice, your own voice. All right, let's keep going here.
King Von was born and raised on the block. And to him, the block was family. Right? So that's exactly what I'm trying to explain. You notice how there's commentary throughout the whole video. Every now and then we put in a clip, like about 10 seconds of audio, but most of the time it's just commentary from start to finish. And then there are different background images of the rappers or the people we're talking about, or even images of them, right? Now, this is allowed. This is what YouTube has always allowed. And to this day, they won't take down or demonetize this type of channel because they're creating real content. And let me show you something even deeper to
What he's talking about here with commentary channel, he means a narrated channel, okay? It's not a channel that makes you wonder, wow, is this a channel or a video designed for engagement to encourage comments? It could be. Actually, every video needs to engage. You have to ask questions just like I did at the beginning, right? Before we start, comment below, what's your opinion? You have to constantly encourage people. You're watching me, you want to know my opinion, but I also want to know your opinion and the opinion of everyone who's watching this video. So, comment your opinion below. But anyway, what he's talking about right now is narrated videos, right? Which is the concept of a dark channel, a faceless channel.
That made sense. So this is the update that YouTube is saying it will launch with the new demonetization, right? That's basically what they're saying. These are the exact words. They said, YouTube has always required creators to upload original and authentic content. And basically, they're cracking down on things that are considered mass-produced or repetitive, according to the new monetization guidelines. Now this is their targeting. Look at this. They're targeting low-effort, high-volume formats. So what exactly is a low-effort, high-volume format? Which channels or types of content will be affected from now on? Because it won't be the channels I've been teaching you to create on my channel. If you really watch my videos, you know that I don't teach you to do those low-effort things. I teach you to create things like the rap channel, for example, that I created. That's where I made all my money. And I followed the guidelines and did everything right. That kind of style is going to be fine. The question is, what won't be fine? So you can make sure to work around that, okay? Now, let me show you what I think will be affected, because this is going to be released on July 15th, okay? Alright, so first of all, this was just to quickly remind you of the background story. Suddenly, YouTube started making video compilations that were really against the rules. You can't make compilation videos unless you add commentary. So you can add a 10-second clip here, add some narration commentary for another 10 seconds, and then play another compilation video. That's fine, but you can't just put compilations together without adding any commentary. That's not allowed, right? So that's what happened. Then, the next thing, 2019, right? Then 2019 comes around and they start cracking down on rain sounds. And I know a lot of people have already told me, hey Caleb, I'm thinking about creating a rain sounds channel, rain noise, or music. What do you think about that? And I always tell them, I just don't mess with that.
Guys, it's crazy. For those who don't know, channels with videos to help you sleep are really popular. And then you hear sounds, like the sound of a sponge making that noise, and there's a little sound here, then rain sounds, wind sounds, that kind of thing, to help you relax, like waterfall sounds and so on, right? So that's what he's talking about. There are people now using Google VO3, which is that video platform from Google that I've already made several videos about here on the channel. In fact, in my mentorship program, I teach how to create channels where you use AI-generated videos to make money. There's a recent channel, not even a year old yet, that's already got 30,000 subscribers. I make around $1,200 to $2,000, depending on the month, just with one of my 10 monetized channels, right? But basically, yeah, these channels there are AI channels, entertainment channels, channels where I appear, channels that are my clones, and so on. These are channels where you can diversify, all approved by YouTube, and they won't be affected by this change if you use them the right way, and there is a right way to create those sounds. The problem he's going to mention is basically just creating the sound there without much content behind it. Now, if you make a video of a little monkey squeezing a sponge and making noise, that's fine, because people can just leave their phone aside and listen to the sound. They don't need to watch the monkey, but the monkey is there. It's original content. What you can't do is just leave an hour of rain playing and put the sound of rain, just that, with no other content, no editing, etc. But the little monkey, the puppy, the kitten squeezing the sponge, that's allowed. If you want this kind of opinion that I just gave, we have our members club. In the members club, if you're level 1, you can send comments. I'll reply to them with priority, and you'll also get early access to videos, right? You'll get them before everyone else. Now, if you're level 2, I'll stop here, because there's also level 3. Level 2 is the best value for money, because on top of all that, you get exclusive videos, and you can ask for my opinion on something. You can post in our community with a photo, okay? You post there, ask whatever you want, send a link to your video. If, for example, you have any questions about monetization or need a recommendation for some AI you want to use, anything at all, any question, you can ask me. If you're a level 2 member, you'll be able to do that. It's a huge shortcut, okay? So down below, there's a join button. Click there, become a level 2 member. You can do that. Or at any level, you'll be supporting the channel and you'll get the benefits listed there, okay? That's it. Become a member.
Anything related to music, anything related to sounds, I don't touch. Why? Because some channels are monetized, others are not. This specific channel, by chance, is monetized, but most channels that start today make rain sounds and compilation videos of rain noises. Those won't be monetized, right? That's how the policy works, because this was a policy from 2019 that came into effect and required people to be a bit more creative than just putting together a bunch of random songs and compilations. So I even stayed away from that kind of topic, right? The next thing that happened.
Another format that works today, which is exactly these compilations, and I agree with him, it's not worth itis when you put those beautiful women and handsome men on the beach as DJs, women and men playing guitar as if they were in a band, and then the music. In other words, you add, YouTube allows it, then suddenly there's a change, it doesn't allow it anymore, so you change your content. So by creating videos with artificial intelligence, of people singing, of people, playing guitar, playing as DJs on the beach and so on, and using the same songs, the same sounds in a compiled way. YouTube allows it because it sees value, because you develop the whole video, So here's another tip, which is usually a paid tip, okay? That I'm giving you here for free.
All right. The next thing that happened, right? Let's go to 2020. 2020. That's what happened. There was a boom that I saw of Reddit channels popping up. If I go to this guy's channel, this was actually one of the original Reddit channels that did this. And to be honest, this guy was probably the reason the whole channel, the whole niche got demonetized. Right? So you can see that he's not monetized today. See that? It's not monetized. This guy was one of the first who kind of created this type of niche. And it's basically repetitive content. It's mass-produced, high-volume, repetitive content, like an AI reading random things from Reddit. Let me show you an example of the videos. So listen to this. Reddit. What everyday skill becomes suspicious if you're too good at it? Recognizing faces. See? It's clearly a robot, right? This was before ELEVENLABS and this more advanced AI technology for narrations, right? This was at a time when ELEVENLABS didn't exist, so people really used a robotic voice, and it worked.
Just to remind the guys, ELEVENLABS is the best audio tool out there, and I'm actually an ELEVENLABS representative. So if you want a voice of extremely high quality, almost indistinguishable from a real human voice, you should use ELEVENLABS. I'll leave the link in the description. Now, if you want to create avatars to be your presenters, there are videos here on the channel that use avatars, which aren't necessarily, well, depends on which channel you're on, since you're hearing me in Portuguese, English, Spanish, and German. But basically, here's the thing. I have channels where it's my clone, and you wouldn't even realize it's me, except that I'm telling you right now. So sometimes someone leaves a comment saying, Rodrigo, you seem more serious in that video. So basically, it's my clone. Anyway, I'm traveling, I'm taking a break. I had a lot of meetings, I can't make the video. I'm away from my office, so the avatar, the clone, steps in, right? My twin brother. Now, I also have channels where the videos are made by ultra-realistic avatars. So you see the presenter, you think it's a human, but it's not. So basically, I use the HEYGEN platform, all right? So if you want to use HEYGEN, I'm an official representative. I use it a lot. You need to be approved. It's not just about dropping a link. No, because I really use it a lot. So I'll leave the link for HEYGEN and 11Labs if you want to subscribe. Obviously, I'll earn a commission, but I use them. They're really worth it, all right? If it weren't for that, I wouldn't be able to manage my 12 channels. I would go crazy. But let's keep going.
These videos were getting millions of views, and people genuinely wanted to watch this kind of content. Suddenly, YouTube shows up, sees all these channels popping up out of nowhere, and thinks, we don't want this kind of content on our platform. It looks bad. It seems like nobody cares. It looks like it was made by a robot. By the way, I had a friend who was in this niche. He actually created a... By the way, back then, that was really cool. He created a robot to actually make each video fully automated. Completely automated. No human actually needed to touch the video, and I had a friend who created the software. This was in 2020. It was really impressive in 2020 when this guy created that software, right? Nowadays, we have artificial intelligence technology, so you can pretty much do this yourself now. But like, this guy created a technology that made those low-quality Reddit story videos on a large scale. Again, it seemed repetitive. It seemed uncreative. No human was involved in any way in creating this. And because of that, YouTube considered it repetitive, as if a bot was mass-producing this type of video. And that's when they decided to implement yet another policy change and demonetized all the channels making videos in this niche. That's why nowadays this guy doesn't post any more videos in this niche, okay? So, I'm trying to put all this into perspective for you because I'm already kind of an old-timer in this YouTube automation world, alright?
I'm also going to make a comment about his video, which is this. Now, in 2025, okay, the fake trailer channels, you know, the ones that say things like, oh, Back to the Future 4 is coming, for example, they're being demonetized, right? Maybe he'll even mention it anyway. I'm reacting live here with you. But what happens? The question is, if YouTube changes its policy and demonetizes these channels, is it still worth having this kind of channel? And you might think, damn, it's not worth it, right? End of story. Damn it. I'm not making any money. But the truth is, you can monetize a YouTube channel in more than 10 different ways. Selling courses, selling mentorships, selling ad space, like a brand comes and says, hey, run an ad. I have an iPhone store. Promote my store here to help me sell. Anyway, so what happens? The payment from YouTube is just one of up to 10 different income streams you can have. If you attract a lot of views, thousands of views, sometimes there's an issue with these trailer channels. Damn, each video gets 50, 100,000 views, 200,000 views. So you lose YouTube monetization. Yeah, that sucks. But you can have a members club. You can sell courses to them. You can do live streams and get super chats. And damn, with 100,000 views per video, 200,000 views, there will be a ton of brands wanting to advertise on your video. So if you have a channel and you really run into this problem, it's unfortunate. But if you have a lot of views and an engaged community, you can recommend a product as an affiliate or another course, or sell ad space, or sell a course, or sell a mentorship like mine, for example. So don't think that just because you've built something big, something that's growing, something that's getting results, you lose one monetization and you still have the other 9, you know? So these are tips that a lot of people don't give, right?
Like, I'm an old guy. I've been in this game for a long time and history repeats itself, okay? Seriously, it really does repeat. You start to notice patterns, and I'm trying to teach you the context so that this leads us to what you can probably expect with this new policy change for future videos, okay? So you can protect yourselves. So this is nothing new. This has always happened. That's what I'm trying to explain. You just need to adapt or focus on a niche, that, no matter what happens, if I make this kind of content or I'm in this niche, I'll be safe. In the end, that's what matters. So for example, this didn't work out. It got demonetized, right? So we don't make this kind of video anymore. Now, let's move forward to 2025 today. What are things like in 2025? What should we expect from 2025? What kind of channels are going to be taken down? Why did YouTube implement this policy change? They did this because channels like this exist on the platform. This channel, Twisted Revenge, is making ridiculously repetitive content. You can't even read all the text that's on this thumbnail. It's crazy, and they only make storytime videos, but it's clearly the same video repeated over and over again. It's very repetitive. If you click on this video, just look at this. Look at this.
I'm Elisa Marsos, I'm 32 years old, and even though I've built a successful career in finance, I was never good enough for mine. Let's make a comment here. First, HEYGEN creates avatars that talk and move, right? They interact with you. So that would already be something different. It moves its mouth, it talks, it connects with you. So that's the first thing. Besides that, YouTube notices when the content is related to the editing. YouTube notices that. So she's talking about finance and there's an animal passing by here. So, she took this video from some news, from a Discovery Channel program. I don't know. And it's playing here, right? And sometimes it could even trigger copyright issues, but she zooms in there. So only 30% of the content is on the screen and then it's not a problem anymore. She already puts an image here in front, so it confuses the algorithm. There are no copyright issues. She adds a caption here too with a background and that's it. So this doesn't create value. Maybe the audio could add some value anyway. What would I change to make it work? So a realistic avatar with lip sync, right? Great. An edit that makes sense, a bit of editing work here. So everything she says will connect with the editing here. And besides that, also your voice, like I said, your voice is very important.
This is the kind of content that will probably get demonetized. I guarantee they released this update recently because they saw so many channels that are identical to this one, right? This is the kind of content that will probably get flagged because, look, it makes the platform look really spammy. It seems very cluttered. It clearly doesn't look good. It's clearly artificial intelligence because of how messy and full of spam it is. This is the kind of channel they probably released this update for, to target a channel that looks like this, where it doesn't seem at all like it's good for the YouTube platform as a whole. And you have to understand the context, folks, because like I said, I've been at this for a long time. To put this in perspective, I understand what YouTube wants. I've already talked to YouTube's head of discovery. I know these people at a higher level, and they've literally told me that they just want the platform not to be full of spam. They don't want the platform to look like it's just brain junk. They want the platform to remain genuine. They want the platform to have an element of authenticity. They want the platform to have creative people adding their own substance commentary, value and opinions on the platform. They don't want a robot creating everything. Now, that's the key word. What do I teach you? Automation on YouTube. What do I actually teach in my videos? Other gurus might teach something else, but what I teach is how to use artificial intelligence to help save time in the production process. I don't teach you to use artificial intelligence to do everything in the production process and create bad videos on the internet.
That's exactly what I teach in my mentorship. I teach you to use artificial intelligence as a tool, as a lever, to give you superpowers, but not so you stop being human.
That's not what I teach. That's not what I'm trying to promote. I'm trying to teach you to make good videos, but saving time by using artificial intelligence technology like ChatGPT to help write the script. The keyword is help. I don't use ChatGPT to write the entire script. I still use manual work, a human who will use ChatGPT as a tool, as an assistant, and will add their own paragraphs and sentences here and there to really make it good. And then we have a script.
Another thing he didn't mention is this. YouTube is getting ready. Google VO3 is by far the best tool for creating videos. And look, I use Runway, I use Minimax, I use Sora, I use Luma, I use Klingso, several of the best ones. But Google, which owns YouTube, launched VO3, and now you can create videos with ambient sound, with narration, with dialogue, with lip sync, right? Which is that lip sync, and they are going to, I've already reported this here on my channels, they're going to make it available for everyone to create shorts at first, and then obviously, they'll roll it out for longer videos. And then you will undoubtedly see a profound transformation that is going to absolutely flood, really. It's going to significantly contaminate in a profoundly negative way the entire platform of YouTube. It's going to cause a massive, overwhelming flood of artificial videos. Now, obviously, they're already preparing with this warning. You won't be able to create repetitive content or content without value, because I believe that first they'll open it up to everyone and then they'll start cutting back. But making it available is different from approving it for monetization. They might first reject some submissions that don't align with the platform's guidelines. Then they'll proceed to release it, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll ultimately approve it. That's why you need to use AI to add value, but there has to be a human element. It could be you showing up on camera. It could be your voice. It could be a character you create that looks like you, but is Disney or Pixar style, but still has your voice, you know? You have to create value. That's the key word. Create value. If you like this video, this type of video, leave a comment below. If you're starting a channel and haven't monetized yet, leave a comment below. If you want my help, there's the mentorship. But if you just want to ask some questions that are holding you back, become at least a level 2 member and I'll definitely help you out, okay? I'll leave some recommendations here so you can keep going with me. Actually, I'm going to ask my editor to put up a video showing the AIs I use for channels in my native language and the AIs I use for internationalization, okay? Stay with me here. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.